I'm gonna do like this so that it seems like I've just been baking and slaving away all day. I was at the market yesterday. Let me show y'all what I bought. Y'all know it's real when you buy the half dozen pack of eggs and they're still over $4. What? How? $4.50 divided by 6 eggs. You don't want to put the prices on your customers, but it's about to be party season, baby shower season. You guys, we gotta figure this out together. So today we're going to do an eggless cake. For today's video, we're going to try applesauce. I'm interested in this because applesauce is also an alternative for oil. And then I'm using a box cake mix just to see how this works out, which also has oil. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Press on the notification bell, because this stuff is expensive. I have not heard that at all. I made that up. Okay, Cakenistas, let's make our delicious boxed cake. I'm putting it into a bowl. Why I was putting it into this super small bowl that is actually just meant to store leftovers, I have no idea. So I went ahead and transferred that to an actual mixing bowl, although I did not really care for this bowl. I really want to throw it away. But anyway, I'm going to add in my 1 cup of water and then my ½ cup of oil that the box says to add. Now obviously here, instead of eggs, I've got some unsweetened applesauce. The unsweetened part is very important because I'm sure that this box cake mix has plenty of sugar and we do not need to add more. When you Google how much applesauce equals 1 whole egg, Google says that it's a 1/4 cup. This recipe calls for 3 eggs, which means that I'm going to do 3/4 cups of applesauce. As you can see, I did go over that line because I didn't feel like saving a couple tablespoons of applesauce, and that probably added a lot of extra moisture along with the oil. But either way, we'll just go with the flow and see what happens. But this whole video is an experiment, so who cares? Okay, I mean, we're using a box cake mix, for goodness sake. Now what I do like so far is that the batter is white. It's like I used egg whites, and I really love that because obviously the egg yolks give it that yellow color. If you just want a white cake, applesauce may be the way to go. Now I know that this is going to be super moist because I've got extra applesauce and we've got that oil in there. Now if I were to do this over just for experimental purposes, I wouldn't add any oil. We're going to go ahead and put this in the oven, bake it, and see what we come out with. And about 37 minutes later, these are fresh out of the oven, but you can definitely tell the difference. Like, I can tell that there are no eggs in this cake. I don't know if it's the Baker's Joy, and this is actually my first time using Baker's Joy, but there is a lot of space between the actual cake and the sides of the pan. I see that the color is kind of inconsistent. It's kind of splotchy versus just an overall golden even look. Also, there is no dome, which is pretty good because that is kind of what we want to go for. That's why we use bake even strips. It's also somewhat lumpy. Box cakes usually look kind of perfect. It does spring back. It still is foamy. It does not look dense. It rose a little bit. The eggs help the cake to rise and then stay at that height. So I'm not surprised that it's not taller. I feel like with the amount of batter that was in the cake, it would have come up a little bit further, at least to like right around here. Okay. Beautiful bottoms. If you've ever made a box cake, you know, like, all of this lumpiness is not typical when you're using eggs. But really, this is a very, very minor issue. We're talking about saving money here, and so I don't know if you can see what I see, but I don't know, something about it does look different. This is the first time that I've used Baker's Joy. I love it already. That is a moist cake. I wonder if it's too moist. We'll find out. And boy, did we find out. I mean, an hour later, I flipped the cake back over and this is what I got. You would think a basketball accidentally bounced onto the cake. No, I simply flipped it back over because this was the upside down one, and half of the cake was left on the pan. But either way, she's a magician. She turned it into a cute Easter bunny, and that's what we're going to do in the next video. Would I recommend making this ratio of applesauce box cake? Absolutely not. I actually had to freeze this cake overnight, and because the applesauce has such a high ratio of water in it, the way that it froze was ridiculous. I mean, I could not slice through that cake for a very long time. However, it was quite moist and tasty. Very crumbly, and no, it didn't stay together very well. So we're definitely going to try again with a different ingredient. Let me know your thoughts down below, scientists. I'll see y'all in the next video. I need to get some chickens. Make a little farm. If I find a farm, there are farms around me. I am in the country right now. That's how I feel, at least. I know there's a farm right down the street. We need to support local businesses anyway. Bye, Cakenistas.